Welcome to California Life Podcast, and today we are opening up another show, another theme. We call it Common Sense, which is not that common. And because we have our young generation coming up, we want to make their future healthier. We've all heard about the topic of masculinity, and then something new that has been created by the influencers. That's what I believe. Toxic masculinity. So we have something good and someone has to come and screw it up, or like Ms. Jocelyn says, fork it up. We've done a little bit of research with Ms. Jocelyn, with Dr. C, with Colleen, and why we're all here, because Ms. Jocelyn in a few years will probably get into dates. You have a brilliant son, you have brilliant kids, you've done a great job in bringing them up. I don't have any kids. But I want to have their future because they are our future healthier.
Right.
Sure. So, what we have a bunch of influencers like Andrew Tate, like Justin Waller, like Brad Lee.
A woman is like a child. Think about it. A woman is like a child, very easy to manipulate as well. That's why we got kicked out of Garden of Eden. It's because she was manipulated by the snake, which was the devil. That's why we didn't conceive even one child in Garden of Eden, and we got kicked out. So if a woman could be manipulated so fast, why would you let her make the decisions of the house? Let's be real.
Can she influence the decisions?
Look, I like to speak to her about everything.
You include her, and I do too.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if I say we're doing this, that's what we're doing.
I can't leave you with my bank card all weekend. We ain't friends, bro. If you don't have trust, you don't have shit. I bought 5 trailer parks this year. I raised $1 million in a week, and I sent 3 text messages in the world. When you have real brotherhood and there's real morals and values in a group, and everybody knows what to expect from the other people because they're in the group, there's a creed to it. You can have trust, and when you have trust, you have fucking speed. Speed is everything in business. Ever dated my friend in any capacity, I would never sleep with you. If you have a boyfriend or a husband that is fighting for my freedom, absolutely not. I don't care if he's my worst enemy, ran over my dog. Rule number 3, I will sleep with your sister. Sorry. I'll do it. And I'll tell you why. It might piss you off, but it won't break your heart.
The number of women that you've slept with is tied to your value as a man. That couldn't be a more unhealthy way to look at your value as an individual. I know there's guys out there that like to throw their notch count number around. I feel like that comes from a place of insecurity. Try to find it in who you are as a person. Can you be trusted? Are you able to show up when people need you? Have you taken care of the things that you in your heart know that you should take care of on a daily basis? Can you trust yourself? That's really what makes you a good man.
Touch somebody's daughter. In our family, I don't care who you are. Daughter, mother, granddaughter, goddaughter, whatever. You touch somebody in our family, then I pay you a visit. And I don't care who's with you, because whoever's with you, they interfere, they're going the same way.
Folks like that, and they're promoting some stuff which is decent, like you have to go to the gym,
Right.
be disciplined, but also a lot of which makes me feel a little sick in a way. It's negative, and this is how we got the toxic masculinity. They focus on flashy, they focus on cars, on watches, and I think in one of our meetings you showed me a video that they took the niche of the teens.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I know that you've done almost a PhD research on that, so let's dive into it. I don't want to be the only one head talking.
Well, I would like to start out by saying I want to address the fact that we're calling it toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Because masculinity and femininity, they are part of a balanced set. Like in all life, we are seeking balance. At the core of everything, we're really trying to find and want balance. We need both energies. We need the feminine to be strong in their femininity and the masculine to be strong in their masculinity. Pairing toxic with masculinity is a little challenging, I think. And I think the word toxic itself has been a little overused. Just like we used to use Uber this and Uber that. We just are throwing toxic on top of everything. It is a very strong word when you think about what it truly means. The reason I don't want to taint the good masculinity with the pairing of toxic, but we have to find a way to talk about what's going on. So with that being said, I would like to start by talking about what masculinity is in a healthy way. And I'd like to address both of you gentlemen, Dr. C and
Dr. V.
Dr. V,
Future.
Victor. What was masculinity? What was it like growing up, like as young men in your teens, and you were coming into your own, and you were looking at your peers, and you were looking at your role models around you? What did you view as masculine, and what did you aspire to be in your youth, and how has that evolved for you in your understanding as grown men? Victor? Or Dr. C, jump in.
Being an immigrant like most of us here, I grew up in overseas in the Middle East and the third world country, where, as you know, like there's quite a bit of poverty. And as kids, we personally, as a kid, I idolized as a role model, like, mainly like a sports figure. You know, Pele was one of them. Bruce Lee in martial arts, of course, was. And I dug into their life stories and achievements and the positivity they inputted into the young people and just the general public. So I benefit a lot by following them. Those days, I'm not telling my age, but there was no computers or social media.
Okay.
So everything had to do with books, where we had to go to a library and read about the individual, the role model that is, and learn a lot firsthand through books and stories and their achievements. So
May I ask you, what were the attributes of those people, the two that you mentioned? What were the specific attributes that really drew you to them, that made you look up to them?
yes, very good. Actually, their upbringing and the environment they grew up in, they were poor,
Okay.
but they had a vision, and through their hard work and the perseverance, they wanted to reach the goal, and they got there.
Okay.
And to see that, it kind of took it to heart, and I related to the actual achievement. And I said, I want to be like Bruce Lee. I want to be like Pele, a good soccer player, a good martial artist, and learn. But so the attributes, what they had also, everything positive. Those days, there was nothing negative that I absorbed, because they all taught about, they taught things about personal growth, strength, and how to be a better person in the society. How to be kind, and they taught me humility, you know, and coming from nothing and becoming somebody. So you take one step at a time and be kind to the society, the people around you, and learn. Never stop learning.
Okay. And how has that evolved for you?
I mean, it did really impacted my life when I became a teenager. When I started medical school, I kept that in mind. I kept these goals from what I like envisioned when I was a kid, following these role models. I give an example too, but there were several, as you know. So I valued that, and I took it to heart, and I still hold on to a lot of values that they taught me. Fortunately, nothing negative that I remember from the negative attributes. As you know, the kids these days has changed, and
Well, we use the word influencer. There's so much more to be influenced from because of social media. There's a lot. The opportunity to be negatively influenced, I think, is probably greater than it used to be.
Exactly.
Victor, what was it like for you?
Well, to cut the whole long story short, it was more of a very old school, traditional European community upbringing, in which you treat every girl in the community as your mother or your sister. And if someone offends them, it is like they offend your own mother or sister. So you don't allow that. It's respect, it's efficiency, it's respecting food on the table and not wasting. It's taking care of your siblings. It's learning how to fix stuff in the house, your engine. So a lot of things which I took from my grandfather, who was former military, and then my dad. I think those two figures were like the main for me. I then also dove into stories, film, but I didn't get influenced by specific figures like Bruce Lee or Muhammad Ali. I thought they were great at what they achieved, but it's different. It's not me. And what influenced me was the story and how film took the story to make me feel. Because a story is just a story, but what we do is not storytelling. We use stories to make people feel.
Right.
And that story was when, it's a fictional story, when 3 girls in a clan, they had some magical, powers. They were fighting for some artifacts, and then one of them fell in love with a regular man, a wimp, basically. No muscle, no skill, just,
A dude.
And, yeah. And then
That's for her benefit.
And then, yeah. So we're on the same page. And then she had to let go her powers to save his life, and she passed. And then I felt, okay, this is what I don't want to be. I don't want to be that wimp who cannot protect his family, his country, his.
Right.
And then I just dove into training. I didn't care about the TV. To be honest with you, I found out about Chuck Norris jokes, Rocky, Rambo, in my mid-20s.
Okay.
So like, I was like a
You were already deep into the training.
I was just training so I can withstand. And then it just took off. I took multiple figures like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? He has something great about him.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee or other people. And I took pieces, but I focused on my own path, carrying out old values that I have inherited.
What I love about this, what you both have brought up, is the natural desire for success, the natural desire to succeed, that what you saw in your role models was
True, very true.
but a very true, a real success, not flashy, not in and out or anything like that, but a legacy of success, really. And the reason I want to bring that up is because I think that's natural, because I don't want to put down, when we talk about toxic masculinity and the examples that we've all talked about amongst ourselves, and that you mentioned in the beginning, how it's a lot of this flashiness, the fast, expensive cars and the expensive watches and the suits, and everything is about how it appears.
And also about what I understand is the current influencers is about marketing. It's about branding and marketing. It has to do with finance. It has to do with money and how many likes, how many views.
Right.
So it's not real. Like as Victor mentioned to me before, that you'll see somebody with 10,000 followers, but they're not real followers. They're just accounts, random accounts. Is that correct?
Right, yeah.
So
it's not a true measure of anything.
Exactly, exactly.
Right. But what I wanted to talk about, and I just wanted to bring up and acknowledge, is that the desire to be something greater than you are, to gain in strength and be able to protect, right? That desire to create wealth so that you can take care of the people that you love. I think that's very natural, and I don't want to put that down at all, because I think that part is pure and true and authentic. So I wanted to say that up front. Jocelyn, we haven't heard from you in your corner. Because we've all looked at a lot of the same videos, we've shared videos and things like that. I wanted to ask you, how did you feel as a young woman listening to these men and their views on success and how they treat women and relationships and things like that? How did you feel as a young woman about to enter the dating scene, and that this is what you have to look forward to? What were your gut reactions? Like, how did you feel when you watched these videos?
Well, I understand is the current influencers is about marketing. It's about
My first thought was definitely like, ew. I don't know.
Ooh,
No, guys, I'm good.
yeah,
Please step away. I
yeah.
don't want to be near you. I don't want to be influenced from you. Because I remember watching or scrolling through an article, and Andrew Tate actually said, "Oh, I believe that women are parts of men's property." And I'm like,
Oh, you must have.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Like, I was about to dropkick that guy.
So, on a very real, visceral level, as the hairs stood up on the back of your neck, looking at that, it made you feel like I'm nobody's property, right? Yeah. And is that something that appeals to you? It sounds like it doesn't.
Doesn't
Right.
not at all.
So the message to young men then is that what you are being fed through these gentlemen and their ideas of what masculinity is doesn't appeal to the women who you're going to be dating, right? So the other half of the equation, this isn't what's positive, and it isn't what is actually attractive. So what is attractive?
You know, you gotta be nice. Obviously, the complete opposite of Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Just in general, just be the opposite of Andrew Tate and you'll be good. Set for life. But to be specific, I feel like my main, like the things I look for would definitely be just to be encouraging, like supporting my dream.
Support it.
And not just like saying, oh, ew, that's a really pathetic dream you have there. Keep dreaming, but like you'll be some woman cooking or something.
Yeah.
I don't want that kind of person. I want someone to support my dream. They don't have to be the richest, but obviously money is good, you know.
Right. I mean, we all know that we need money to survive. That's just a simple fact of the world. And money, I think understanding what money is, that it is actually energy that's created. So we create the wealth and the money that we have through our energy. And it's not, it in itself is not the thing that we want. It's what the money buys. It's what money brings us. And ultimately that's freedom. So who doesn't want freedom? More
And
freedom.
how they're made.
Pardon me?
And how they're made is also important.
Okay, so how you go about it. So address that, Victor.
Well, I would address a few different angles. For example, the influencer that I mentioned. They portray something, but it's not their real background. For example, let's take Bruce Lee, a martial artist turned actor. Then he became influential because of his craft, his success, his achievement, his greatness. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he became great as a bodybuilder, as an actor, and then he got this following. Look at these influencers. They just record videos, they record stage stuff, flying from a helicopter and walking to a Lamborghini or other stuff. They, for example, one of them is in construction, as he claims. There's no content about construction, like, hey, I built this building, or minimum. It's more of Lamborghini driving, and each story is driving a Lambo or a G-Wagon with a watch.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not selling drugs, hopefully, so it's already decent money made. But also, what is behind that story?
Okay.
Are you great at what you do? Then show
that.
Show that. As a great builder, as a great athlete.
Show the skill.
The skill. And then that's how you influence people, not just I'm an influencer. I just create videos and I share my opinion. What would that matter?
No, you're right. I mean, that's what Kanye was mentioning about flashiness. I mean, they
Yeah.
right now it's about how flashy can be on social media.
Yeah.
So you attract more viewers and more likes. So there's no substance. There's more material but less substance. So, of course, now I'm more mature. When I look at these, I just laugh. I mean, it's a shame, you know, like try to teach young audience the fake and not the reality behind the success. So, like you said, that's the only thing that you see is Lamborghini watches and
cigars,
cigars and expensive trips.
So one of the things that I noticed in watching these videos, many of the influencers in the toxic masculinity realm, they really promote the bodybuilding and being strong, like getting strong, getting buff, being, having the six pack and the muscles and all of that. And I also want to address that the desire to be strong and the desire to develop your body and to work out, I think is really positive. I think it's when we take these positive things and we turn them toxic, we turn them negative by using them in the wrong way or not really understanding what the benefit of that. So I'd like to hear from all of you on, because I know the two of you, I don't know your workout routine or if you even have one, but that has been a path
Very true, yeah.
for understanding self and having more self-confidence in knowing who you are as a man, person, but as a man, has been through your bodybuilding and workout. So would you like to address that?
Thank you. Yes, being a bodybuilder, I've been competing in bodybuilding for the past 30 years exactly, and working out and training 40 years total. So, and I use that platform of bodybuilding and fitness and wellness to educate, not to be negative influences, so I can sell product. For instance, now what they do is some bodybuilders or people who are extremely fit, they want to portray that, hey, look, I'm the picture of health and I'm ripped, and because I'm using this product, and in actuality they're not.
Right.
It's a fake thing they use because they are sponsors and they get paid a lot of money for using that particular product, but that actual product is junk. And I know that for a fact by watching social media. So I can't believe these people, and they're making millions from that.
Right.
And people buy it. Say, oh, I want to look like you. Okay, of course, I'll buy several of this product.
Right.
So I use that platform personally just to educate, like how to train properly, what's the proper form, what's the proper natural supplement you can take. I do it not for money. I don't make any money. I do it because I want to educate. I want to share the knowledge I had throughout the years, looking at pros like, of course, Arnold and big time bodybuilders.
Yes.
And being around them. I mean, I grew up working out with some and get to know them on a personal level. And as a doctor, I treated a lot of them. So I had first-hand experience and conversation and dialogue with them about proper training and dieting and supplements. So, but a lot of them are really respectful, and they want to portray a positive picture and influence to the youngsters. But a lot of the new ones we were talking about, the names you mentioned, they hide behind the fitness and bodybuilding so they can sell.
More to my question is, what did you? This is what I understand. Like with martial arts and bodybuilding, a lot of what comes out of it is the self-discipline.
Yes.
Right. So there are attributes in building the self and personal development where this is simply a pathway to that. That bodybuilding is a pathway to that. So I was curious about that. If that was how you felt, and then Victor, I'm the same with you.
100%. I mean, I personally, from personal experience, I use bodybuilding, started and competing to polish my skills. The first is the self-discipline and perseverance and commitment. I mean, to prep for a competition, it's a lot of work. It's not as easy as like people, oh, just go to gym, work out, and you look ripped and you win trophies. It's not about that. It's about commit. If you commit to this particular aspect of life, like bodybuilding, you'll commit to other aspects of your life. So like your personal life, your marriage,
Right.
exactly. My the commitment to my practice, to my patients. So I that's the attribute.
That reminds me of a saying, and then I'm going to have you, Victor, answer it. There's a saying that I've heard. It's how you do anything is how you do everything.
Very true.
Like, how you approach something. And so the commitment, the perseverance, and the discipline, those attributes then filter out into the rest of the areas of your life. It's beautiful. Victor?
In my case, I would say, to me, it's not just a martial art or bodybuilding or weightlifting, right? Strength training. Dr. C or let's say Arnold Schwarzenegger, I like to place you both on the same, you first. To go through a competition is totally different thing. Everyone can go to the gym, start lifting weights, drink protein shakes, and call themselves a bodybuilder, just like anyone can take a phone and call themselves a director.
Right.
Does it really mean that you are? No. When people go through competition, through this selection, through rejection, this is what builds us. So it's discipline in the gym. Also, we seek for mentors like Dr. C, for example. If you're just watching YouTube, you're maybe getting, and I don't know how you get this six-pack. Maybe you got some medical supplementation to help yourself look this way for camera, for Instagram.
Right.
So if people are not competing, if they're not achieving, if they're not actors, if they're not going through castings, they're just recording online, anyone can do that. So to me, that's a non-professional world versus professionals. Now the issue is that professionals are busy, they're not recording online videos. James Cameron is not doing Instagram.
Right.
But all the other folks, they're directing, they are bodybuilding, they are martial artsy. And they do capture a lot of audience, and they sell.
Right.
And they sell not just random products or random gear, which they don't need, but they also sell random ideas, which some of them maybe are good, like be disciplined, go to the gym.
Yeah.
But, achieve something, become a good person, so you earn respect of a mentor who is highly accomplished, so he can guide you. That's a totally different story, and they don't sell that. So that we get a lot of actual negativity, as Miss Jocelyn mentioned. Hey, you're my property.
Yeah.
Or another thing which Justin, in one of his videos, he was saying that you have to be this and this, and you come to the girl and you speak like this, you be confident. And then he says something like, but hey, bro, I will sleep with your sister. If someone says that to me, I would begin fighting right away.
Right.
Because it shows what a piece of shit person that is, if you can even say that.
Right.
Right. I mean, this is extremely low.
Yeah.
But this is the example they sell. And having a flashy, cool-looking thing, everyone who is looking, they think it's cool. I want to be like that.
It's almost like a sleight of hand.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, look over here while I'm doing this over here.
Yeah. And
unfortunately, I started to.
Go ahead.
I just want to add to Victor's point is the invention of AI, the new technology that catapulted all these influencers to use that to their advantage, so they can sell and negatively influence the public.
Yeah.
So the old days, everything you saw is pure and what you see is what you get.
Yeah, real.
Right. So as kids, we grow up. We're blessed because we know there's nothing fake. Everything, whatever they film, it's real. Whatever they take is real. They make the shake and tell exactly what's in the shake. The technology was very primitive at that time, but to our advantage.
Right.
I feel sorry for young people these days. What everything they look is, they're confused because so many fake product or negative ideas.
Right.
Just to change the young people's minds.
I think one of the greatest challenges in these here day and times is the fact that there are so many scammers. There's so the opportunity to be scammed, to be taken advantage of is so high. I think it creates just a base level of anxiety with everybody out there.
Very true.
But it also makes people susceptible to things. And I would like to bring this. I know we've talked about what some of the negativities are with that, and we've listed some of the things that are positive. In bringing this all together, I'd like to use these last few minutes and maybe each one chime in a little bit about what is our hope for the future, because what we're seeing now with the youth of today is whatever their takeaway is, whatever they decide to put their intentions into, is what our future is going to be. So what would be the hope of the future for the future generations with masculinity as the core and the center topic? Like, how can true and authentic masculinity be of help and service to the world that we're stepping into?
I would like to start by saying if we can find a filter to filter the influencers and
Filter them out.
yeah, filter them out exactly out and
Out the negative.
so we can handpick the ones that were, you know, but unfortunately there's nobody out there like that. So it's a free for all. I can be an influencer tomorrow and make millions of dollars talking about whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I get followers, but I'm not that kind of person. I like to be a positive influencer for nothing. I don't want anything in return except that the people listen and benefit from my knowledge. I don't want any money or anything else. So I really pray and hopefully we can find AI or a filter that say, okay, you know what you portray is all bad, negative. We only want positive influence.
Okay.
And I think it could be done, you know, and I think that will help the young generation.
Okay. So finding a way to filter out what's, and what I keep hearing in our discussion, and I want to bring this up, is authenticity.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Realness, yeah.
so things that are real and
That's
authentic,
right.
and authentic masculinity, finding ways to get to the core. Victor?
I would let Miss Jocelyn.
Oh, Miss Jocelyn.
Well, she's with us because she's already flying in her dreams.
Obviously, I really hope that the toxic masculinity goes away. First of all, because us girls, the people out there, we're probably gonna stay single if the guys keep on acting like this.
Yeah.
So I really hope like they change their ways or they just like leave us alone. I feel like something that could help them improve this would definitely just, I know being like seeing all your Rolex, your Lamborghini and stuff is really cool, but like I feel like most girls out there don't really care about that. And that's also what's driving toxic masculinity. So maybe stop caring so much about your picture and saying like, oh, I'm rich, look at this. And just be like your normal self. Don't try to flex your richness and stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot more people, I feel like, would start dating. It's not like I want that a lot, but I feel like a lot more people are going to get into relationships if guys just stop being toxic and saying, I'm rich.
Sorry, can I ask a question? And it's amazing what you just said.
Yeah.
What would you like to see? Like when we talk about the negative, because you mentioned that. What would you like to see in an influencer or like in a man? Like
What attributes would you look
good
for?
attributes you like to see?
I definitely want to see like those influencers. I want to see them post more about not just them coming off a helicopter and going to a Lamborghini. Cause like, what's the point of even posting that? What are you thinking? Like, oh yes, this is gonna make all the girls like me because I'm rich. I feel like they take those down, please. And replace them with probably just more wholesome videos of like enjoying your time at the beach or something. Maybe going around somewhere with your kids, having fun, and not just showing, hey, I can do a lot of stuff because I have a lot of power and money.
Okay.
To show the real self.
Yeah, to show your real self.
Again, their authentic life.
Yes.
Yeah. What I keep hearing, and for me, it's the same thing. Like I have a son, and I feel very blessed that he has been raised and has turned out to be such a good human. I just am thrilled with that. But what I'm sorry, I just got lost thinking about my son. I just went into memories. Is that being a real person, being authentic, being true to yourself, and that's what people want. It's trust. What I heard you say, it's like show up as yourself.
Right.
That's gonna allow me to trust you, and then we move on from there. And then there's the opportunity for relationships. Without the authenticity and the trust, it doesn't go any farther. Yeah. Victor?
Well, I guess I'll begin with what Dr. C says, a filter. I think it comes from a family.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, I didn't need to share anything with Miss Jocelyn. She filtered it out because she has this good family upbringing.
Yeah.
So I guess pay attention to family upbringing and to the kids who are watching this nonsense online. Maybe go to your dad, to your mom, and ask something that could be of real good value. It could be a different generation, different perspective, but definitely a lot better than the cheapness of walking from a helicopter to I was just luckily we work in this business and I can just spot the fake
It's
stage
so fake.
you know. So family first. I think that just like our VP said, JD Vance, men, because of all this negativity in the media, don't have to go away from wanting to be a man.
Right.
Even though a lot of media is somehow portraying it negatively.
To young men is don't allow this broken culture to send you a message that you're a bad person because you're a man, because you like to tell a joke, because you like to have a beer with your friends, or because you're competitive. It's our message, the cultural message, and I think the president's and mine is the exact opposite, but our cultural message is, I think that it wants to turn everybody, into, whether male or female, into androgynous idiots who think the same, talk the same, and act the same. We actually think God made male and female for a purpose, and we want you guys to thrive as young men and as young women, and we're going to help with our public policy to make it possible to do that.
You do have to be strong. You do have to be smart. You have to grow and be a team member, teammate for your significant other. The whole topic of toxic masculinity was introduced to me by a Korean lady, and she introduced the whole thing in their culture.
Okay.
And then I dove into it because to me it doesn't make sense. Masculine doesn't mean toxic. It cannot be. So it was just a block in my head. And then what happened in their culture, because of the Korean War, a lot of men took from their weak fathers, it's okay to abuse the lady. So get rid of this weakness and honestly, don't date. If you are not building your value as a value man, don't date because you're wasting the lady's time. You're wasting her feelings, her emotions, her that she can give to actual good men. You have to be a little selfless to think about this way. I was like that in my early 20s. I didn't start going on a date until maybe I was 22, maybe later, because I thought of myself, what do I represent? I don't want to be like all of them, running on dates and thinking that they are someone when they are not. I focused on competing, my academia, my business. You don't have to go on this until you're 45 if you wish, but be a value man. Go through all these challenges so you have the scar, but it builds you. And then you will not be toxic at home, because home is where you bring the protection. You don't bring the opposite, right? You fight outside, but you protect inside, and without any politics involved or anything. So that, I guess, would be my
I love that. Yeah. Focusing on the home. Well, this has been really enlightening. Thank you, Victor, for bringing the topic up and for inviting us all to share in this. I really appreciate it.
Well, I think this is very important because, again, they are the future. We are the present. And I do hope that at least these episodes would be useful for someone. And just like I wrote my book on relationships, is for those who seek for something. Seek and you shall find. You don't need to lower your standards, right? If your dad, your mom taught you about this is the standard, and just because the society tells you that, hey, it's okay to have invitation to have a pizza and hook up, it's normal, don't buy it. Keep your standards, even though if everyone tells you it's wrong, just feel your own gut, and you can always outgrow your parents, be better in all the values, all the things, but don't go below. And use it. Feel free to use it. Be better, grow a better society, and be like Ms. Jocelyn. Right?